So, Carl's Doomsday Scenario by Matt Dinniman is book 2 in the Dungeon Crawler Carl series, and it picks up pretty much exactly where book 1 left off. So, whereas book 1 was levels 1 and 2 of the dungeon that Earth has been turned into, book 2 takes place entirely on level 3. So level 3 is referred to as the Overcity, so apparently it's traditional in these dungeon crawler television series for levels 3, 6, 9, 12, to all be part of this kind of continuous storyline, which it revolves around the idea of a civilization that was built inside a kind of volcano, only there was some type of mysterious catastrophe in the past that drastically altered both the terrain and the people who live in it. And this is the first part of that backdrop, I guess. So there are 2 major changes on this level for the players from Earth that are participating in this game. So first is that if you're able to survive and reach level 3, you get to choose a race and a class. So the aliens have the kind of technology where you can choose not to be a human anymore, and it will make that a permanent alteration to your physiology. So you can choose to be something else and then also to acquire a specific class or profession like you do in typical video games, and depending on what you pick, it bestows different types of bonuses and skills, abilities, etc. And then the second major change is the addition of quests. So whereas before all the players were basically just having a goal of finding staircases to get down to the next floor before the floor they're on collapses, they have a time limit, on level 3 they can also get offered specific missions by the non-player characters that they encounter. If you can complete the quest, then each quest will come with its own kinds of rewards, but you have to be kind of careful because it all gets very complicated since there's a concurrent television series going on at the same time that uses the Overcity as a setting, and depending on how the players interact with the NPCs that are part of these other storylines, it can drastically decrease your life expectancy since it's all based on the whims of the people writing the programs and the game administrators. So yeah, Carl and Donut get to choose what they want to be, and you also get to see a lot more of their game guide. So when they first entered the dungeon, they met someone who was responsible for introducing them to how the game worked, and that person is their guide, and he is becomes a much more main character in this book. It sounds like he probably has a really interesting history because his past, I guess, in these dungeons and with this game sounds like it's actually quite extensive, though you only get kind of bits and pieces of what that history might have been. So let's see. The stuff they fight on this level is heavily skewed towards zombie themes. So yeah, I thought the previous one was gross already. This one is even more gross. I guess that would definitely be a dislike. I mean, just as a quick example, think ice cream cone full of parasitic worms. I think that pretty much tells you everything you need to know about the level of grossness, and zombies are a major feature in their towns and stuff as well. Oh, it does introduce actual settlements on this level as well. So players can, go to shops, and there's, inns and restaurants and so on. There's actual small towns, medium-sized towns, larger settlements and stuff that are populated by NPCs or other people that the game administrators created. They are actual living beings, but they're programmed by the administrators to believe that the world they inhabit is the actual universe, which, causes a whole other ethical issues. So let's see. I already picked a dislike. So some likes. I thought the undead circus thing it had going on was definitely an interesting um choice of setting, I guess. And I liked how you got a lot more interactions in this one with like other characters, other players, and it starts to feel much more like a world, since even though it's not real, like the city setup and stuff. And yeah, I think it was very interesting, and I think the quest element is nice too, because then it's not always just killing things. Like the main character gets it pulled into one where you're trying to figure out what's going on, because there's been a series of gruesome murders of prostitutes and stuff in the larger town that they go into. So his quest was like to figure out where they're coming from, like what's going on in that regard. So it's not just about going in and fighting a boss and beating it and stuff. So I think that makes their action and stuff, like the whole plot more interesting. So yeah,